In making this decision, the board had a very detailed discussion of the slowdown in household spending and the stresses that some households are under because of higher interest rates and higher rents. We understand that it's very difficult for many people at the moment. But the board also considered the cost for households and the economy of inflation staying too high for too long. It's in Australia's interest that we get on top of inflation and that we do so before too long. And the board of the Reserve Bank will do what's necessary to achieve that outcome. As we make our decisions over coming months, there are a number of factors that we'll pay particularly close attention to, and I'd like to briefly discuss 4 of these. The first is developments in the global economy. Economic growth in the advanced economies is slowing as restrictive monetary policy has its effect. Even so, labour markets have been surprisingly resilient in many economies, and in many countries, unemployment rates are at multi-decade lows. Headline inflation is declining as the COVID disruptions are overcome, energy prices fall and food prices decline. But concerningly, services price inflation is proving to be very persistent in many economies. As you can see here, it's still above 6% in the United States and 5% in the euro area, and it's proving to be persistent. This persistence reflects strong demand for services and strong growth in wages against the background of weak productivity growth. One source of ongoing uncertainty is how quickly services price inflation globally will moderate and whether the needed moderation here will require further increases in interest rates. It is noteworthy that interest rates are higher in the other English-speaking economies than they are in Australia, and in most countries they're expected to go higher still. So they're higher than Australia and they're expected to go higher. The other significant source of uncertainty for the global economy at the moment is the strength of the economic recovery in China. The economic indicators were weak in April after a strong bounce back following the easing of the COVID restrictions late last year. And consistent with the Chinese economy operating with a fair degree of spare capacity at the moment, inflation in China is much lower than it is in the rest of the world. This has implications for Australia, not just in terms of the prices of goods in world markets, but also the prices of our resource exports, which have declined recently, reflecting the slowdown in the Chinese economy. The second consideration that the board's giving close attention to is the strength of household spending domestically. In aggregate, growth in spending has slowed since the middle of last year as the pandemic bounce back faded and the effects of both higher interest rates and the cost of living pressures began to bite on household finances. And we expect that consumption growth will remain subdued for some time, largely for these same reasons, although stronger population growth is going to provide a bit of an offset to this. There is, though, quite a lot of uncertainty about the outlook for consumption at the moment, given the large number of factors influencing household finances and spending. Some of these factors are shown in this next chart. Employment's been rising very strongly. People have been getting more hours of work, and nominal income growth has been strong. These are all positives. In contrast, the real incomes have declined, and the required mortgage payments as a share of household disposable income will reach a record high later this year. Many households are transitioning from fixed rate loans over the next few months, and they will experience the same increase in repayments that has occurred for people on variable rate borrowers. Rents are also increasing quickly, and that's putting pressure on many people's finances.